You can change your finances in just 6 months. Yes, 6 months. And I know exactly what you thought. This sounds too good to be true. But the truth is, most people underestimate what they can do in half a year with discipline and absolute focus, and overestimate what they can do with vague wishes and magical promises. This video is not about shortcuts. I'm not going to promise you'll get rich while you sleep, nor that there's a miracle formula for making easy money, because there isn't. What exists and works is clarity, strategy, and action. 3 ingredients that, if applied consistently, can completely transform your financial life in 6 months. And this isn't theory, it's practice, it's reality. If you're watching this video, it's because on some level you're already struggling with your financial situation. Maybe debt is weighing you down. Maybe your salary is good, but your money keeps evaporating. Maybe you earn well, but you don't have peace of mind. And here's the bottom line. Money is much less about how much you earn, and much more about how you handle it. The vast majority of people don't have income problems. They have management problems, behavioral problems, decision-making problems, and that doesn't change overnight. But in 6 months, if you apply what I'm going to show you here with discipline and responsibility, yes, it's possible to turn things around. Think about it. 6 months is the length of a season. In 6 months, you can go from financial chaos to a state of control, clarity, and even growth. Maybe you won't pay off all your debts. Maybe you haven't made your first big investment yet, but you'll have done the most important thing, changed the direction of your financial life, and that alone changes everything. In this video, I'll show you 10 practical, accessible actions you can start taking today. Even if you're earning little, even if you're in debt, even if you don't know where to begin. These steps combine technique and mindset. They're simple, yet powerful, because when you combine knowledge with consistency, results appear. So before we continue, let's make one thing clear to yourself. You don't need to have complete control over everything right now. You just need to decide to start today. If you take this content seriously, if you truly apply what I'm going to show you, 6 months from now you won't be the same person anymore. You'll be someone with clarity, direction, and the freedom to build whatever you want. And tell me in the comments, how is your financial life today? And what have you done to change it? Let's go together. So let's get straight to the point. Here are the 10 steps that can transform your finances and your life in just 6 months. First tip, do an honest audit of your finances. The first step to changing your finances in 6 months is simple, but it requires courage, facing the truth. Conducting an honest financial audit is like turning on a light in a dark room. It may be scary at first, but it's the only way to see where you're headed. So sit down calmly, open a notebook, a spreadsheet, or an app, and write everything down. Everything. How much do you earn? How much money does your account receive each month? Include salaries, side income, occasional sales, and any additional expenses. Then, detail your fixed expenses: rent, water, electricity, internet, transportation, basic food, school, and debts. Next, list your variable expenses: delivery, clothing, subscriptions, leisure, coffee, and small card slips. Most people have never done this in their lives, and that's why they live like financial zombies. They know their money runs out, but they have no idea where it went. The clarity you gain from this exercise already puts you ahead of 90% of people. If you want to go further, categorize your expenses by type and analyze the percentage of each relative to your income. For example, if you earn $3,000 and spend $900 on housing, that's 30%. This type of analysis shows where the excess or imbalance lies. But be careful, this audit is not a tribunal. It's not a time to blame yourself or panic. It's a diagnosis, like a medical exam. You can only treat what you know. The idea is to create awareness. Without it, there is no control. And without control, there is no transformation. At the end of this audit, you'll have something invaluable in your hands: the truth about your financial life. From then on, every decision you make in the coming months will be based on real data, not guesswork. This changes everything. You can't make a solid plan without knowing where you're starting from. And if you want to change your life in 6 months, the first thing you need to know is exactly where you are now. Second tip, cut unnecessary expenses without mercy. Once you've clearly seen your financial reality, the second step is to eliminate what's draining your money without bringing you a real return. And here, The key is detachment. Cutting unnecessary expenses doesn't mean depriving yourself of essentials or living a miserable life. It means taking control and stopping habits that keep you from achieving financial freedom. Look at your expense list and question each item. Is this essential? Does this bring me closer or further away from the life I want in 6 months? If the answer is no or uncertain, cutting back is necessary. Subscriptions you don't even use, paid apps you forget about, weekly delivery, clothes you buy on impulse but never wear. All of this adds up, month after month, to hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars wasted. This is where the Stoic mindset comes in. Value what is enough. The Stoics weren't against pleasure but against attachment to the superfluous. True freedom begins when you don't depend on excess to feel good. Every dollar you save on things that don't matter is a dollar that can be invested in yourself, in your future, in your peace, in your independence. This cutting back exercise may hurt at first, because you'll realize how much you've been conditioned to spend to feel good. But relief soon comes. More money left over, less guilt after each purchase, and a growing sense of control. Remember, cutting costs isn't about losing. It's about recovering. It's about bringing back resources that were being wasted on things that don't get you anywhere. And the best part? You don't have to cut everything. You need to cut what doesn't make sense. Be selective, prioritize, redirect. By doing this, you start to free up space in your budget for what really matters: paying off debt, investing, building savings, and building a solid financial life. And this cleansing is what will allow you to move forward with much greater ease and decision-making power. Third tip, create a strict and realistic budget. Now that you know exactly where your money is going and have cut out the unnecessary, it's time to shape your new plan. A budget. But not just any budget. A strict but realistic budget. Why do people fail when trying to control their finances? Because they create fantasy budgets. They plan to spend $100 on food when they've already spent $700. They put $1,000 into investments without ever having $100 left over. This isn't planning. It's wishful thinking. And wishful thinking takes a heavy toll. A realistic budget starts with what you already mapped in the audit. Take your net income and divide it into categories: housing, transportation, food, leisure, debts, investments, and savings. Then, set clear ceilings for each, with a safety margin. Don't forget, unexpected events happen. The key here is consistency, not in the sense of being inflexible with life, but with yourself. A budget isn't a suggestion, it's a commitment. It's your contract with yourself. When you deviate from it, you're giving up future freedom for immediate gratification. And if you want results in 6 months, you need to act decisively now. Use tools that help you: spreadsheets, apps, paper envelopes, or any method that works for you, and review it weekly. A budget isn't something you create once and forget. It's alive, dynamic, and needs to be monitored. You'll find that by following a disciplined budget, you'll start to feel less anxious about money. Why? Because you have a plan. You know what you can spend, what you should save, and what is being built month after month. In no time, this practice becomes a habit. And when budgeting becomes a habit, you transform your behavior. You stop spending impulsively and start spending purposefully. You trade financial chaos for a clear system that works for you. That's what leads you to transformation. And it all starts with the courage to say, "That's my plan and I'm going to stick to it." Fourth tip, establish an emergency fund. If you want real financial stability, you need to understand one thing. Unforeseen events are not a possibility. They are a certainty. The only question is when they will happen. So the fourth step is to build your shield, an emergency fund. Many people think they should only save money after paying off debt or starting to invest. This is a mistake. Without an emergency fund, any unexpected event becomes a crisis. All it takes is a flat tire, a health problem, or a sudden layoff, and there goes your credit card to save the month. The result? More debt, more interest, and more delays in your plan. Your emergency fund is what protects you from life's instability. It's the foundation of your freedom, and creating one isn't as difficult as it seems. The general recommendation is to have 3 to 6 months of your basic fixed expenses saved in a safe and accessible place, such as an interest-bearing account. Start small. If you spend $2,000 per month, your initial goal might be to accumulate $6,000, but don't be intimidated by the total amount. The important thing is to get started. $100 saved with purpose is worth more than $1,000 spent thoughtlessly. Set a fixed amount each month to feed this reserve. It could be $50, $100, or $300, whatever works for your current situation. Automate this transfer if possible. This eliminates the chance of forgetting or using emotions to decide whether to save or not. And remember, this money is not to be spent. It's not an extra. It's a security measure. Use it only in real emergencies. Discipline is vital here. You'll be developing not only a financial reserve but also a new behavior, protecting yourself first. In the coming months, as this fund grows, you'll experience something rare in the world of finance: peace of mind. And with peace of mind, you can plan, invest, and build without the constant fear of the unexpected. This peace is true luxury. Fifth tip: pay your debt strategically. If you're in debt, know that it doesn't define you, but it does define your urgency. Debt isn't just a negative number on your statement. It steals your peace, your plans, and your freedom of choice. Therefore, the fifth step is to face it head-on, strategically and consistently. There are two proven methods for paying off debt efficiently: the snowball method and the avalanche method. With the debt snowball, you list all your debts from smallest to largest, ignoring interest at first and paying off the smallest debt first. This gives you a quick win, a sense of progress that motivates you to keep going. It works great for those who need an emotional boost. The avalanche method focuses on numbers. You list your debts from highest interest rate to lowest and start paying off the most expensive one each month. This method is mathematically more efficient and saves more money in the long run. What is the best? You'll be able to follow with more discipline. What you will take you all the way. The best strategy is the one you apply. Now, knowing the method isn't enough. You need to commit to it. Stop making minimum payments that only keep your debt alive. Reduce expenses, sell something, or seek extra income, and direct everything toward paying off priority debts. Negotiate. Call creditor companies. You'd be surprised at how many banks and financial institutions are willing to offer discounts for paying in full or reducing interest on installments. Remember, every installment you pay off isn't just less debt. It's more freedom. It's more peace of mind to sleep at night. It takes more energy to focus on growing, not just surviving. Over the next 6 months, your goal should be to reduce these outstanding debts as much as possible. Even if you don't pay them all off, reducing interest and debt volume will transform your financial health. And most importantly, it will change your relationship with money, from someone who chases after it to someone who takes control. Sixth tip: automate your financial life. Want to know the secret that separates those who improve their finances from those who have been in the same cycle for years? Automation. When you take the willpower factor out of the equation and put automatic rules in place, your money starts working for you, not against you. The idea here is simple. Whatever you can automate, automatize. The fewer decisions you have to make about money on a daily basis, the less chance you have of making mistakes, and the more consistent your results will be. Start with the basics. Set up automatic payments for your fixed bills: water, electricity, internet, rent, etc. This avoids late payments, fines, and forgetfulness. Then, automate your savings. Set a fixed amount per month or week and schedule an automatic transfer to your savings account or investment. It could be $50, $100, or whatever fits your budget, but make it non-negotiable. If you're paying off debt, see if you can schedule installments or transfers on your payday. Take the money out of your account before the temptation strikes. Financial management apps also help. Many of them automatically categorize expenses, display graphs, and help you visualize what's working and what needs adjusting. And best of all, effortless. Automating doesn't mean losing control. On the contrary, it means creating a system that acts for you even when your energy is low. Instead of relying on your motivated Monday self, you create a financial routine that sticks even during difficult weeks. Over the next 6 months, this structure will give you stability. Even if your income fluctuates or your debts persist, you'll know a plan is in place, and automated plans drive results. They take emotion out of the equation and put consistency in its place. And consistency, more than any promise, is what changes lives. Seventh tip: learn to live with less than you earn. This is one of the simplest and yet most ignored truths in the world of finance. Whoever spends less than they earn never becomes poor. It may seem obvious, but in practice, many people's behavior reveals the opposite. Social pressure, marketing, immediacy, everything around us encourages us to consume more than we need and live beyond our means. But financial transformation begins at exactly the opposite point. Live with less. Stoic philosophy has a valuable principle. Be content with enough. It's not about living with scarcity, but with purpose. The Stoics taught that true freedom lies not in having more, but in needing less. When you reduce your needs, you automatically increase your freedom. Start by analyzing what is essential for you to live with dignity and peace of mind. Separate what is real need from what is just temporary desire. Ask yourself honestly, does this make my life lastingly better or just give me temporary relief? This simple exercise can completely change your relationship with money. Living with less also gives you margin. It's this difference between what you earn and what you spend that builds your savings, pays off your debts, allows you to invest, and achieves independence in the medium and long term. And live with less. Not giving up comfort is gaining the power of choice. It's looking at your statement and feeling in control, not guilt. It's saying no to the superfluous now so you can say yes to something much greater in the future, like financial peace, security for your family, or freedom of time. If you commit to living below your means for the next 6 months, even just a little, you'll be building the foundation for a truly wealthy life. A life where money serves you, not the other way around. This change is simple, yet powerful. It's completely within your reach. 8th tip, increase your income. The financial freedom equation has 2 sides. Spend less and earn more. We've already talked about the first one. Now it's time to talk about the second. But here's an important warning. Increasing your income doesn't mean working yourself to death. It means using what you already know, what you have, or what you can learn strategically. In 6 months, it's entirely possible to create an extra source of income, even if it's small. You might not double your salary, but earning an extra $200, $500, or even $1,000 per month is already a transformation. This can be used to pay off debt, build your savings, or invest. Start by examining your talents and skills. Do you know how to do something other people would pay for? It could be fixing things, writing, caring for pets, teaching, editing videos, or selling products online. The market is full of opportunities for those who offer value, and you don't have to be perfect to get started. Another option, sell something you no longer use. Furniture, clothes, electronics, books. Selling what's sitting idle generates quick cash, cleans your home, and trains your detachment mindset, which, by the way, is Stoic by nature. If you want to go further, use these months to learn a monetizable skill. There are free or low-cost courses on digital marketing, video editing, design, programming, and much more. What you learn today can generate income for years. But be careful. Don't fall into the trap of turning your life into a productivity marathon. The idea here is efficiency, not exhaustion. Earning more is worthless if it costs you health, peace, and vital energy. What you need is focus and strategy. A viable, sustainable, and meaningful extra income plan. In 6 months, a consistent project can become a significant supplement, and perhaps even open doors to something bigger. And remember, the more you earn, the more responsibility you have. Earn more. It only changes your life if you know what to do with that money. And now you are learning how. New tip: invest in your knowledge. If there's one investment that guarantees a lifetime return, it's this one. Invest in knowledge. In a world where most people live at the mercy of the financial system, banks, interest rates, ignorance about money itself, those who seek to understand how it all works are already years ahead. You can change your finances in 6 months, but if you want to change your entire life, you'll need to change your mindset. And that only happens through study, quality information, and practice. The Stoics believed that wisdom was the only truly valuable asset. No matter how much you lose, knowledge remains. And in the world of finance, this principle holds even truer. Start by reading accessible books on financial education. They don't just teach you how to save. They teach you how to think like someone who knows how to build wealth. And most importantly, apply what you learn. Knowledge is only valuable if it turns into action. It's also essential to learn the basics of investing. Not to start investing irresponsibly, but to understand where your money can grow safely. Learn about liquidity, inflation, fixed income, and stocks. Does this sound complex? At first, it is. But, like everything in life, it gets easier with practice and repetition. Over the next 6 months, create the habit of studying 15 to 30 minutes a day. Soon you'll see your mindset change. You'll begin to see opportunities where you once saw fear. You'll start asking better questions. You'll start making decisions with more confidence. And the more you know, the more power you have over your financial life. Remember, the system relies on your ignorance, but you can break it with knowledge. 10th tip, change your financial identity. Of all the changes you can make to your finances, none will be more powerful than this. Change the way you see yourself. Because at the end of the day, your behavior with money is a direct reflection of your identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are. If you see yourself as disorganized, someone who was never good with numbers, who always lived on a shoestring, or who wasn't born to invest, guess what you'll keep doing? Exactly that. The good news? This can be reprogrammed, and the first step is to break with these old narratives. The Stoics said that true freedom comes from mastering oneself, and this begins in the mind. It begins when you decide that from now on you are someone who respects their money, who makes conscious choices, who has a healthy relationship with finances. This decision alone doesn't solve everything, but it changes your pattern. You start to think twice before impulse spending. You start to feel uncomfortable with debt. You start seeking information with a thirst for change. And most importantly, you start building habits that reinforce this new identity. Want a practical tip? Use affirmations. Simple, direct, powerful. Every day tell yourself, I am a person who takes good care of my money. I make financial decisions responsibly. My income grows because I act wisely. These phrases may seem silly at first, but when repeated with intention and followed by action, they shape your mindset. They create a new version of you, more confident, more aware, and more in control. Over the next 6 months, more important than the amount in your account is the value of your transformation. Because if you change who you are in relation to money, everything changes. Your account will change. Your behavior will change. Your life will change. You don't need luck. You don't need magic formulas. You need decision, action, and discipline. In this video, you learn 10 practical steps that can transform your finances in just 6 months. None of them depend on how much money you have today. They depend only on how you will act from now on. And if you apply it seriously, consistently, and with the right mindset, your future will thank you. 6 months from now, you can be someone with clarity, no debt, savings, extra income, and most importantly, control over your financial life. Now, it's up to you. If this content resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to take this step. And tell me in the comments, which of these steps will you apply today? Let's build this change together. See you in the next video. Until then, act with purpose and build your freedom every day.